meeting for Monday, September 22nd, 2025. We'll call the meeting to order. We can all stand up and say the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Cheryl.
Matt Jardy?
Yep.
Matt Peterson?
Yes.
Dylan Leiter?
Yep.
Adam Ryder?
Yes.
For approval of the agenda, any questions, comments with anything on there? If not, we'll ask for a motion to approve as presented.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second,
Second.
and roll call, please.
Matt Peterson?
Yes.
Adam Ryder?
Yes.
Dylan Meyer?
Yes.
Matt Jardy?
Yeah. Okay, number 5, I believe we can skip. So let's jump down to 6, the consent agenda. Again, any questions, comments, concerns with anything you see on there? We had a couple building permits and a sidewalk permit, so.
Nothing that probably matters, but the fence is already up for
Is it?
letter C. Yeah.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, I got text about that on, I don't remember, Saturday or Sunday. I'm like,
Oh, that's down by, Smoky's place.
yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have any issue with it. They were just like, is this when you approve it? I'm like, yep. Like, well, it's already out.
Yeah, a little.
Okay.
A little late, yeah. Yeah,
Eric looked.
That's what I said. I'm like, well, I
Eric
looked at it, I
before
said, well, Eric approved it. I said,
we gave him the go-ahead to
Yeah.
start.
so.
Yeah.
Like Eric approved them both, so.
Yeah, as long as they're approved
The
by.
comment I heard was that it looks like a heck of a lot better than what I did in the past, so it was good to see.
Yeah, as long as it's approved by somebody at the city. I mean, this is kind of legalities, but
Yep.
preferably we'd like you to wait until it's approved by council, but if
For sure.
approved by somebody at the city, then good to go, so. Okay, so with that being said, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second,
Second.
and roll call please.
Dylan Meyer?
Yep.
Adam Ryder?
Yes.
Matt Jardy?
Yep.
Matt Peterson?
Yes.
Okay, number 7, discussion on alternate drainage options for West Street. And Mark is here tonight to kind of give us some updates on
Yeah.
kind of where we're
We
sitting.
can talk about that. Maybe I'll sit where Lisa is.
Yeah.
Next to Dylan.
Perfect.
Is it Richard?
I don't like
I think I should reach.
There you go. Okay. Kind of hard to see, but, so, we took a look at options to maybe be able to get the water into the ditch, you know, and that wouldn't help. This is for the West Street, basically drainage areas, and the original project to put in storm sewer, we had kind of a drainage area associated with DeCroce Street here. You guys see what I'm circling there? And then, we called it Field West, Field East, and then Northeast and Northwest on either side of the industrial lane there. What we're looking at is there any way we can kind of deal with the drainage coming off of this area and have it travel out to the ditch? And just with the grades that we're looking at and the flatness and the slopes, we didn't feel like we were able to adequately make that sort of an option work, which is primarily why we have the piping option to begin with. So we're really not seeing a drainage to the highway right-of-way as a feasible way to go about it, which puts you back to the option of putting in the actual storm sewer.
Is that just because we'll be too low by the time we get to the ditch, Mark,
Yeah.
or what?
Yeah, that's what it comes down to, is you just wouldn't be able to drain it away.
That's too bad.
Probably once it gets to the ditch, there's probably no board for it to go either, right?
It just gets too flat,
Yeah,
you know,
it's just
through
gonna
there
sit
to
there.
adequately get that water to drain away,
Yeah.
is what they looked at. So, I mean, with that being said, you know, the reason that this whole project came up 5-6 years ago when we were looking at this was, you know, we'd done the development out at, Harvest Heights subdivision there, and the water, dealing with the stormwater kinda came, you know, later on in the game. We wanted to make sure we were proactive when we started to look at the development here in this area here that's called Field East, and, you know, before things, you know, get going too much in the Field West there. In addition to just, you know, the existing drainage issues in that area, you're also taking care of a little bit of what you had been planning, you know, with the industrial lane here. There's storm sewer in that, so this project would take care of some of the costs associated if you would go to the urban section here of industrial lane there, instead of having your ditches through there, have a curb and gutter. So that's kind of, you know, what this encompasses. It's more than just the development that's going on right now at the senior center. And we kind of talked about that being a catalyst to, you know, once he actually starts building out there, then maybe we start to move the stormwater project forward. And he's actively out there building now. It's just a matter of, you know, do you guys want to move forward with your stormwater project that's going to have you dealing with the drainage in a, you know, responsible manner with the development that's going on.
Well, I know now that living out there, I never paid much attention to West Street before, quite honestly, but, you know, Gary and Doris sent in that picture, where it was all around their transformer.
Where was that location here?
Basically right across the street from the.
Yeah.
Yeah, across the street from Ellis's.
You know, cause like you said, is it the growth that all the water comes from?
There is, yeah, this
You know, so
drains
where that
this
storm sewer
direction.
kicks out there, you know, that goes across all the yards. Where I live now, there's the transformer, or that breaker box, oh, I should have measured it, but I bet it's 24 inches from the ground, probably top of the bottom of the breaker box. I need a picture of it. But we had that big 5-6 inch rain, well, all summer long, but there's only one I was out there, it was up to the bottom of that breaker box. You know, cause it just comes out and it just swirls, and then
Yeah,
just, there's so much water coming, cause that storm sewer just empties right there.
yeah, and we were actually, you know, as a part of the design,
I don't know how much water's, what that all encompasses, but
Yeah.
we're right where that storm sewer comes out there,
Yeah.
we're starting with like a 30-inch storm sewer there, and then you get progressively larger as you add these different developed drainage areas to it.
So that would help the situation on both sides of the street then?
Oh, yeah, yeah, you're gonna, everywhere in that area I was showing you is what this storm sewer is gonna serve. It's gonna serve this larger, what are we calling that there? Resident area there of DeGroat Street. It's gonna do this field to the east, all of this development to the west, you know, all of the industrial area here for any sort of drainage off of that. This is, the areas outlined in black. You can't see them very good on that exhibit, maybe I can zoom in.
so it would run down West Street on the east-hand side, and then same thing on Industrial Lane.
We have two options. So one option is comes across through here, crosses the street, just north of Ellis property there, and then heads down between. Another option, and they accomplish the same thing, just a little bit differently, is to keep it down through there and maybe do some overland flow until you get to this area to pick up, you know, the drainage off of this. And it was like, again, this is a concept. If we did a design, there could be tweaks that wouldn't match either one of these in, you know, practice of actually getting a real construction document together, but this gives you the general sense, you know, the areas that you're serving here. You know, and it's a substantial amount of money is the thing, and it's like, how do you pay for something like this? There's no real great grants out there to cover these sort of improvements, at least not right now. You know, you may be able to do like a USDA loan or possibly some sort of a SRF stormwater loan, but regardless, you're talking about long-term, low-interest loan type funding for a project like this.
It's our tax base and utilities.
Yeah.
Was there, I don't remember, was there just ground inlets on that mark? Is that how that water was, kinda like what's out there now?
Yes, yeah, that's how we'd be.
It'll be
handling
curb and
it.
gutter, it'd be just like under.
Well, this
Maybe
would
that's
be,
under
this
curb,
here would
right?
be curb and gutter. Over here, you know, eventually you'd have curb and gutter, but for now, you'd be putting in these, you know, inlet type structures in ditches and extending over to low areas.
So that does, okay, that does include curb and guttering on West Street.
It does not include curb and gutter on
Okay,
West.
okay, that's what, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No.
It's just storm sewer.
Just storm sewer. There's another estimate for the industrial area there, where we actually include, you know, curb and gutter estimates and all of that.
Mhm.
Well, the storm sewer is definitely the biggest thing, just to get the water to keep moving then.
Right.
There's a lot of water, so I'm surprised.
Mhm.
The more pavement that keeps going in out there, it's just gonna get worse.
Yeah, the more you turn, you know, grass or prairie or fields into finished surfaces, the more that water's gonna, you know, need a place to go.
Mhm.
And is it pretty easy to tap back into that later if we do curb and gutter
Oh, yeah.
after the main?
Yeah, no, that would be totally something that you could do. And we could even have that, you know, in the back of our mind while we're doing the design and make sure it's gonna be, you know, match that sort of design scenario.
Is Ellis's design, does everything on his parking lot go back to the street, do we know?
His kind of drains just off of the area, and what you would do is try to, through ditch drainage, get it over to the storm sewer system, so. He doesn't collect it all into one uniform area, just kind of sheeting it off. So that's what's in front of you, you know, we want to, you know, if you want us to move forward, we would, you know, put a design agreement in front of you for this, you know, and then, you know, while we're doing the design, we can be looking at funding options for actually constructing it too, you know. Because eventually, that's where you wanna be, is actually taking the design and putting it out to bid.
When did you guys get us, just kind of, just an estimate a couple years ago? You remember?
Well, really, it was like 5-6 years ago.
Oh, was that long ago
This is
now?
what the estimates are, yeah, this is all 2020 that we were.
Oh, wow.
I was thinking there was one like 2 or 3 years ago.
I feel like I've seen an estimate since I've been on here.
You've seen it, but it's been just this estimate with me telling you, well, now it's 2 or 3 years later.
Maybe that's
so
what it was, is that
I have to
regional.
update these.
Yeah.
I think even in June, I probably showed you what the estimates are, but one of the options, and then again, these would all have to be updated, but, you know, in 2019, 2020 dollars, it was $841,000 for option one, and like $766 for option two. And those, you know, that's pre-COVID type numbers, and everything's kind, you guys know how everything's gone
And
price-wise.
that was just the
since then.
construction, wasn't it? That wasn't including the engineering?
We had some percentage of engineering in there too, so, you know, all of that would, well, that included engineering and looks like a 10% contingency. I threw a 10% contingency and we did like 15% for engineering on there through construction, so.
And just for clarity, again, that's just storm sewer, that's
Just-
not urban gutter.
Nothing, this is no pavement, this is just getting the sewer in. You know, the design portion of this, we're probably looking at, I don't know, in today's dollars, maybe like in the ballpark of $80,000 or something like that would be what you'd be doing up front of actually going out to bid and all of that. Just ballpark there to give you a scale of magnitude of what you'd be looking at to complete the design of it and get you ready for initiating bidding on it. You know, I think this is something that you're gonna want to, things aren't gonna be getting cheaper from here, and the problem of water drainage isn't just go away, you know? But it's a matter, there's other priorities in the city too, so you gotta weigh all these things out
Right.
and decide what you wanna do, you know? So, is there any questions anybody has of me, or any thoughts on a direction?
No, I don't really have anything, I guess.
I'm just trying to think what you could do to divert water down both sides of the street, but that's not so easy when the storm sewer goes, you know, just to the left or the east side now, but, you know. If you're talking about with those utilities being so close to the water, or water getting into that.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm probably need to have another discussion on this and, yeah, I think, kinda like Mark said, go over priorities and where everything kinda ranks and,
Yeah.
but yeah, we wanted Mark to come down and kinda touch base with us again on this and update us,
Yeah, I wanted to look at the option and try to save money. See if
Yeah.
we could do some overland
yeah,
flow type options for you, and it's just not really feasible for
Right.
this area.
right. Yeah, yeah, I know the last time you were down here, we kinda talked about, we're just kinda waiting on the DOT, you know, to kinda get it
Yeah, and
there.
even before the DOT, you know, I had the design team go back and say, you know, could you drain this away from here, and even without, you know, I had a small discussion with the DOT, but, you know, our limiting factor isn't the ability to permit through the DOT, it's the ability to get the water, to get away from the areas that you wanna drain properly,
Yeah.
so. But yeah, that's why I'm here, is to kind of fill you in on that, and, just let me know if you have any questions, you know, you guys have my number, if you wanna talk to me or ask questions outside of the council meeting, feel free to give me a call too, so. That's it, then. You guys good then?
Yeah, I think so. Yep, yeah, we'll put this on, another agenda and kinda hash it out a little bit better and, yeah, kinda go from there, so.
That sounds good. Do you
Thank
need me
you.
to stick around for any other agenda items at all?
I got it. I might have a question when it comes to ours for him.
Okay.
Just I tried Googling stuff, but this on that easement.
Yeah,
He
Yep.
might be a good one for that.
yep,
Sorry,
yeah,
Mark.
yeah, if you wanna
we
hang
shouldn't
around.
take-
for
No, it's okay.
Another one, Mark, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
no problem.
Okay, so we'll kinda table that and then we'll, I guess we'll put it on the next agenda. Talk that over again, so, everybody good with that? Okay, let's jump down to 8, lot 5, West Street, discuss and consider approval for the sale of lot for non-residential use. So, geez, when was it? May, I think, when you guys were here,
Yeah, April or May.
something
yeah.
like that, and we kinda set a date, a tentative date of September, you know, to revisit this, and, so here it is September already, and, yeah, we wanna get you guys an answer so everybody can kind of move forward on this. So I guess, Jess, if you, or Joe, whoever, if you guys wanna, got anything to say?
Yeah, if you don't me just, so we did find out, and we was at previous meetings, there's an easement, across Joe's lot and the south end of mine. Now, a 30-foot non-exclusive easement for ingress and egress. Can anybody put a road on that, run utilities through that, or is that just between the grantor and the grantee?
So it says,
I tried figuring this out, and I think I know the answer, but he's gonna know.
non-exclusive.
So this is my lot, this is the lot we're looking to buy that Joe owns. I don't think I can just go, willy-nilly put a road in there, or start laying my utilities if they're gonna be in the way. My nervousness is, I put my utilities through there like anything else, like you pave a alley here in town, that needs tore up, that's on you, you did that. Is my utilities gonna be, when they go to put this storm sewer in and my storm sewer's right dead center level with where that's going through, it just scares me putting, and I was gonna get to this later in my little speech here, but I don't know even if it's legal for me to I need to get water, sewer, and gas, over to West Street. I'd like to buy that lot and do it, but now we found out after, like in July or August, we found out that there is an easement through there.
I think, again, I'm gonna defer to my professional land surveyors to answer
That's-
that, so I took a picture of that, but
Okay.
I would think it would mean only for the.
And that's what I read online, that's what I read online too.
I would think you'd be able to put utilities through.
Cause that makes, it'd be like, I could go, hey, I got easement through my property, and this is where I did the research with my attorney. I got an easement because the guy sold the 40 acres that was attached to my property to get to his, so they had to put an easement on it. Well, that don't mean just anybody can go drive down that road, it's my easement, it's the city's, or it's mine and it's the guy who owns that. But yeah, no, if you could maybe
I'll
reply
do that.
back or whatever, but that's what Google runs you everywhere.
Right.
Get you, yeah. And then, so yeah, lot 5, Joe can speak on this, hasn't got really any serious interest on that.
It's been on the market since, 3-4 days after, me and Jesse kind of brought this up to you guys, so I've got zero inquiries or 0 offers, 0 anything as far
I
as
would like,
the purchase.
yeah, I would like to run my utilities just off that line, heck, if I could get lot 5 just off of it, just so it's mine. I also did pull, the, deed book of it, and, with it being an ingress egress, I think the council before you guys did plan on possibly a road or wanting a connection between Grant and that, but there also is a statement in there that the successor to the grantee, which would be Joe at this point, his heir successors and assigns, there shall be, keep and maintain legal fences along that west boundary. They want a fence. The council before you guys wanted a fence along that, I'm guessing, in case there was a road there to keep traffic and to go. So there legally is supposed to be a fence there. With me buying it, that would, I own everything, it eliminates, I guess, all that headache. And all I want, like I said, is a road through there. If I own it and the city owns it, if I own it and the city has the easement, I could put a gravel road on it at that point, and, if it, who cares if it's a gravel road, it's never gonna be cement, it's never gonna be blacktop, it's just gonna be a gravel connector, road for me. That would be legal from what I Googled at that point, cause I'm this grantee, city's the grantor. As far as setting, not setting an example or, doing this, the city already set an example when they did lot 3 years ago, when they split lot 3 for Riders and at the time Empens, so I don't know what.
That was a private sale though, the city didn't own it.
City
Oh,
had
oh,
nothing to do with
okay,
it.
okay, okay,
The city's only owned Joe, that lot that Joe.
Only
owns
lot
for
5,
a few
okay.
years.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't foresee anybody buying it. I'll gladly buy it and sit on it, and like I said, if I can put a road, if the city, at that point, if I own it, then the city could agree to allow me to put a road over the easement.
I'll gladly keep it for sale. If someone wants to buy it, I'm not against them putting a house up there. I just don't see any point in Joe owning a lot that is, he ain't gonna use. He could use that 25,000, like you said, to put equity in his house that he has in town here. You know, again, back to Kilburg Equipment, I said it before, in the last 4 years, we've had 3 employees, 3 of my young employees buy houses within the city of Preston, you know, all young, you know, we're growing, we're expanding. You know, I don't wanna be a pain or a thorn or anything like that, but, and I'm not we're talking personal pickups, you know, daily, 1 or 2, back and forth, but semi, stuff like that, we're talking maybe 1 to 3 a week, you know, max. We're not talking like it's, you know, we're, you know, Plastics Unlimited, getting product out, product in. It's just gonna be a nice cut across for me, for Kilburg Equipment with owning West Side now and that. Like I said, I got pictures too, and I know this construction, but there was 4 times, in July and August that lot had 1.5 foot of water on it. Rollings are having, you know, theirs is 6, 7 foot higher. I just think it with it being a narrow lot and you're gonna have to build, especially if you want a basement under it, you're gonna have to build it up high. And with all the beautiful lots the city has up by the church, I just don't foresee it being a for saleable lot anytime in the near future. And like I said, I'll gladly sign something if I could put, like I said, if I could put my road on that 30-foot easement after I own it, I'll gladly leave that lot 5, you know, open for sale at any given point for, you know, a year from now, some little lady wants to move to town and wants to build a slab house. I don't plan on putting anything on it. I got enough room in that cornfield behind it, and like I said, I don't plan on not putting a shed on it. I'm not, you know, just a road and a place to get my utilities through.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I know I ramble a lot, but.
Nope, I guess, what's everybody's feelings on this? Like I said, like to open, I wanna get these guys an answer. Like I said, we kinda set a date of September to kinda give a green light or a red light, whatever kinda council wants to do here, so I don't know, what's everybody's thoughts on
I mean, if, Jesse stole most of my thunder, but if I
Oh,
could
sorry.
just have a couple, that's fine. Jesse stole most of my thunder, per usual, right? I let him talk first, he's better at it. But yeah, I mean, I've said from the beginning, me and Jesse don't have nothing but the best interest and intentions of everybody involved, the city, me, Jesse, his employees, everything. I don't know, I think it was the first time we brought this up, he said he did $28 million in revenue last year. That blew my frickin' mind. That's awesome that Jesse is bringing that amount of business to our small town, right? And at this point, you know, when I bought the lot, and I have no hard feelings, I don't. When I bought the lot, I thought I was buying a lot this big that didn't get 1.5 foot of water when it rained real heavy. Now I've got a lot that's this big, and I get 1.5 foot of rain, or I get 1.5 foot of standing water when it rains real hard, right? It is what it is. But Jesse has a problem, we have a solution. I guess that's really, like I said, he stole everything else I was gonna say. So, that's my piece. I just wanted the 45 seconds.
Well, and I forgot one, and I'd be willing to, I wanna buy the lot, I think that's the easiest, cleanest, but I mean, if the city's willing to put a road through there to get up to mine and stub sewer and stub water and stub, gas, that, I mean, that's the only legal way with the easement, I believe, to get it up to my lot 1.
So Jesse, help me out though with the sewer, the gas and the water. Why does it have to come through there? I thought,
So there's-
gas and water we can.
Gas and water we can get, I would like to,
Street.
so there's more pressure in the water off West Street than there is the one coming off Joel's.
What's the pressure difference? Has somebody tested pressure difference?
From what I've been told, it's around 40 to 80, so about double. And I don't, yeah. My biggest concern and the reason we come up here is the sanitary sewer. The sanitary sewer at the corner of Kunos, Joel's and Kunos and mine, kind of there, is about 4.5 foot deep, where the sanitary sewer is at 9.5 foot on West Street. And before my sewer gets to where the power pole is. And there's a power pole in the middle of the easement. But where the sewer gets there, about the last 80 yards, it's low. That whole end of that is low. There's just no grading to get around it. It's gonna be 2.5, 3 foot deep. I don't want, especially that building there, and I plan on building more in that open lot, I don't want my 4-inch sanitary sewer 3 foot below the grade. We're gonna have issues.
But
If we could get to,
Didn't Tim and guys look at that and they didn't see any issues with it? Didn't that?
that was the flow, the grade, but it's still gonna be that. With the grade, we can get about 2% grade. We can get enough fall between mine and there, but the depth is gonna be the issue. I had Brandon.
But didn't Tim come back and give us that everything was fine there, Cheryl?
I don't know, he just said the flow is there, that's the best of my knowledge.
So,
Because-
help me out again, if the flow's fine, what's the issue then?
The depth. My sanitary sewer is only gonna be 2.5 foot. It's gonna freeze every winter. Sanitary sewer should be 5 foot, 4.5, 5 foot in Iowa, minimum,
Yeah.
yeah. And I don't feel like being out there every cold day. I mean, we got a great, we were down, we cleaned a storm sewer, for the guys, we borrowed trucks.
Jesse, I think, and Joe, I appreciate, being a community member, moving to town, bringing a family in, a couple houses. Jesse, same thing, you
Yep.
and your family and your business you do, I think is astronomical and great, But when it comes to the lot, the reason we said we were gonna wait till September to make a decision to see if Joe sold it was because we didn't know there was an easement there until we did our research, The flow, we talked about the flow, that it wasn't flow. There is flow, okay, the depth, I can get that, But when you're talking just 1 or 2 trucks, I mean, Campbell's used to sit where you're at. The creamery was going, the elementary school was here, so traffic was able to flow up and down there just fine with no issues. We turned down a buyer that was gonna build on that lot because it wasn't a residential home. And they even talked about they would build a shop first and eventually build residential onto it. And then we denied it because we specifically put into writing when we bought that lot from McNeil's that we wanted residential property there to have income, bigger tax base, gas, sewer, water, all the things the city owns to help with that. We turned that down. Now, Joe, you bought it, and please, no disrespect to this, but, you bought it. It's not the city's responsibility to make sure that you get your money back on it. I mean, we have Eric Wagner bought a lot up in Harvest Heights that he's sitting on. I don't see, we're gonna allow him to do something different up there.
Were was the circumstances in which he bought that lot the same as they are now? Because my circumstances have changed.
What do you mean, your circumstances changed?
There's a 30-foot easement,
But the easement was there when you bought the lot.
and it was there when you sold it to me.
Correct.
That wasn't disclosed.
It's all on legal file. You can look up that there was an easement on there. That was all, nothing has changed. When you bought that lot, the legal description had the easement on it, Joe.
No, I don't disagree with that at all, but it was not disclosed to me. And when me and Jesse brought this up a few months ago, it come as a surprise to you guys. You guys also did not know that there was an easement.
For sure. I mean, we're volunteers on the council. We don't know what every property is. There's easements all over this town on lots, and there's easements on it. It's the property, who's buying the property, in my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, to make sure you know what you're buying.
Absolutely. So my attorney probably could have done a better job, but so could the cities, right? Because if I sell you something and it is this wide, then it's that wide, then I get to build that wide. But
No, you still can't build that wide. You still can't build 4 foot from another dwelling, a fence 2 foot.
4 foot and
There's
30
still
foot,
things that fall into place.
that's a lot of difference. Between 4 foot and 30 foot.
I don't, I'll agree with that, Joe. I understand that, but I don't think it was the city's responsibility to tell you what you're buying. It's your responsibility to know
You
what
sold it, and if you're not responsible to tell me what you're buying,
The legal description has the easement on there. Nothing has changed since you bought it.
Right. I don't disagree with that one bit, but what I am saying is that as a seller in good faith, should disclose everything that may or may not be pertinent to that purchaser who is apparently very bound to construct a residential property.
Mhm.
That was not disclosed to me.
Well, it's on the legal description, you know, and as far as,
Heard it.
I've been watching, and maybe I'm completely wrong, but this summer I've been watching the water down there, and I've never seen any water sitting on that. Now, maybe I just missed it, I'm not saying I haven't.
He can show you, I mean, it's flooded.
The alfalfa's green, and there's a lot of water that flows, when it first rains, there's a shitload of water sitting in my yard too, but.
I know, but that's still gonna end up in your basement if it's there for 10 minutes or if it's in there for, Rolling had to pull he had his,
I mean,
news
that
lights hooked up to the sewer, the sanitary, or the storm that's there now. And he had to unhook them because it was working backwards, it was filling up there. Yeah, that was, I got other pictures of this, I don't know. That was all 3 storms in July and August.
That's not down by the street.
That's a hayfield there.
Yeah, no, I get
Yeah,
that,
it was
it was like that all the way up.
But that's where that's where your house is gonna, I mean, this lot all the way to my property, 3 times was.
It was like that in my yard too, but that's what the storm showed you. Anyway.
Yeah. No, and like I said,
just don't- I think we're setting a huge precedence if we allow this to be sold and nothing built on it, we sell it as commercial. I think it's.
Can I buy it and sit on it as for sale? I mean, Joe
You
ain't
said
gonna do
yourself
anything
you're not
with
gonna
it.
build on it, Jesse.
I will sell it to someone who wants to build. I want my utilities through there and I want a road. But I will gladly sell it to someone out, 2 years from now, 6 months from now, 3 months from now. I just don't foresee, I foresee it being a hayfield for a really long time. And that's fine if that's, but I just foresee it being a hayfield for a really long time.
I mean, all I can speak as a person living on that block, didn't buy that thinking there'd be a road down there. That time to be a residential lot.
Adam, what's your thoughts?
I mean, kind of what I've said before, reiterating kind of what Matt said, I think, to me, the biggest thing is the precedent that we set before, with denying, a non-residential use of that lot, so we denied that. And as far as the drainage, obviously Mark's here, I mean, it's not something that's gonna happen overnight, but that's something that we're working to address. Yeah, I mean, it's just tough for me to find a real compelling reason. I totally get it from your perspective, Joe. I mean, you're planning to build a place and then a house that suited your needs perfectly came up, and that in the equation changed, but then also, as part of the equation, you had this lot, that you had to do something with.
And thank goodness I didn't build, because it gets 1.5 feet of water, and there's 30 foot that I can't use.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
I think my thoughts, I'm for it. I think, especially if Jesse's willing to leave the area open that is able to be built on, open and for sale. I think getting an easement in there, and I speak on that, based on, my wife owns a business on Mitchell Street, and if, the semis that are on there, they could sit there for a while depending on traffic. I've seen it, and you cannot pull into that parking lot if there's a semi sitting at that stoplight, or that stop sign and waiting. And I think, with the kid traffic that walks up and down Mitchell Street, I was one of those kids a bunch of years ago, I think there's more and more kids every year, that walk up and down there. To me, I see a little bit of a safety concern, with having large equipment on there, if we can limit that as much as we can. That's one thought that I had over the 4 or 5 months we've talked about this. I think selling it to Jesse and allowing him to put a road in there on an easement that is already there and leaving whatever lot is able to be built on, for sale to be built on for residential purposes, I think that's where I'm at today.
I understand where Matt's coming from, I understand where Dylan's coming from. Quick Onyx, you know, looking at the size of the property, a 30-foot easement still leaves it, I'm assuming this is just a quick graph. 96 by 291, are we close, is it like 126 foot wide, Joe?
I believe it's 129 and change.
Gotcha, so there still is enough room to build. I understand, you know, the not knowing what you're buying. I bought Lonnie's shop thinking I owned clear over to Cookies, to find out it takes a hard angle. We got that cleared up this year. Shame on me for not picking up on that at closing, but, yeah, if there's an easement there, if that's supposed to be an alley or could be an alley, I don't know what that looks like or how that could be used. And, yeah, I guess dealing with freezing sanitary sewer would not be a fun winter project. I don't know, it's a toss-up, I just don't wanna set a standard either, in the city, especially on specifically this lot.
How many lots do you guys have that are owned private party that are not developed?
How many lots in the city that are private party?
Private party that's nothing on,
That were bought from the city, like me, right, I bought a lot from you guys, okay? And nothing's been done with it. I'm aware of mine and one other in the new subdivision. Is that accurate?
That's it, as far as I.
Sounds right.
that's probably it, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
or two up there, yeah.
Because we brought this, me and Jesse brought this up the very first time. Both my lawyer and his lawyer both said that there's no legal precedent that Jesse cannot buy this lot from me and develop it as he would like, right? Obviously, that's not the route we wanna go. We don't wanna ramrod this through, okay? That being said, you're not, by allowing Jesse to buy this lot and put the lane in that he wants to put in, you're not setting a precedent that you can't squash, right? These circumstances are extenuating, it benefits Jesse. In my mind, it benefits the city, because they don't have to, you know, cause Plan B would be, the city runs all of those, the you know, the lane and the utility. I guess what I'm getting at is, every other lot you guys sell from now, you guys could make an ironclad clause in that sale saying, this is a residential property, no exceptions.
Well, and Joe, we'd had our lawyer check into it too, and according to our lawyer it is, because our lawyer wrote it up. So our lawyer is saying that is ironclad, and you are responsible to build a residential house on it.
Sure, I mean, that's 2-1 odds, but yes, I can appreciate that, sure.
One other thing that I think about too a little bit is, you know, if we have, I mean, I think of all of the lots that we have for sale, you know, whether it's the city has it for sale or this one's for sale, you know, I think about all of the Harvest Heights lots, and, you know, I want to get those sold. And I think if there's someone that's willing to build a house, I almost wonder, in my mind, I think it's better to kind of steer them that direction, or have that as an only, not an only option, but as the primary, you know, as the prominent option as far as that goes. It's just another thought that I didn't mention, or that I forgot to mention earlier.
When you're comparing it to Harvest Heights though, I mean, those lots are also more expensive. And I mean,
Smaller.
yeah, they are smaller. I mean, obviously the shape is a little bit different, but, you know, when we sold that lot, we kind of factored in, you know, the location of it and, you know, the size of it.
You know, and as far as the water too, you know, that's one thing we were talking about, that's why Mark was here, to help with the storm sewer and take care of the
Yeah, I
water
think that's
issues,
just because
because,
a
you
lot
know,
of the water issues.
the homes that are there are dealing with the same thing, so that's a big thing, we wanna take care of that, get that storm sewer going, because all the Grove Street dumps out, that's where most of the water comes from, the storm sewer that dumps out there.
Yeah. And I don't wanna speak for everyone, but I think I probably do. I mean, Jesse, as a business owner, I mean, we wanna help you out wherever
100%.
we can, you know, if you're having issues with the utilities or anything, I mean, we definitely wanna make that right.
And I hope you said that enough, Jesse. We've been very vocal
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, you have, I mean, I guess if we're not gonna sell it, I need that power pole moved. That's on my property that they just are tying to, that's in the center of that easement, cause I can't get a road through there, and then I'd like to see the city run utilities if at all possible up through that easement to me. Gas, they're saying we're gonna have to go all the way out in front of the fire station. I mean, there's just no, it's just an old part of town.
It is.
The,
Yeah, it
the
is.
utilities are horrible. I don't wanna hook up $250,000, $500,000 buildings up to delinquent utilities. And there's no if, and, or but, they're delinquent utilities. I was on the fire department for 15 years, I've hooked up to that hydrant there, and I've hooked up to hydrants down at the industrial park, that's running the same line on West Street. There's a difference in water pressure, there's a difference in power. I can get gas going through an open field if I can get to West Street. I gotta go underneath streets and underneath asphalt and to get gas. I'm gonna be yipping, and when the city has a frozen water pipe, I'm gonna say, or a sewer line in the middle of January, I'm gonna say, no, I gotta get mine unplugged first, cause it's gonna be the same dang boat. I understand the president side of things, but I think you guys have legal weight. I mean, I worked in Mark's spot for 11 years. I mean, I know there's ways around that, and if you guys wanna look at a hayfield and Joe wants to get $50 a year rent, I think that's what we're gonna be looking at for a long, long time, cause I just don't physically see anybody buying that lot.
Can we go back to what you were talking about before, cause maybe I didn't follow. If you were to buy it, you could, and maybe this would have to be looked into, you could put a road on that 30-foot easement.
I could put a road, I couldn't put any underground on it. I could put stuff on top, and then it's you guys,
And then
the
if you
power
were to-
line takes a crap, you guys tear it up, that's which gravel's cheap, easy, it's above ground.
So that, and then if you were to resell that as a residential dwelling, that easement road would stay there.
Whoever buys it has to put a fence up, per your guys' language. It says right in whoever buys that's supposed to have a fence all the way across it.
Whoever buys.
Whoever
now-
buys
now
lot 5
Joe's
and-
lot.
I'm supposed to have a fence there.
Yeah.
How come there's no fence, Joe?
I just found this out by doing my own research, I don't even know if the city has it. I went and pulled, there's a quick claim deed on the deed book, page 116-271. I went up to the courthouse last month and pulled it, when I was starting to figure out if I could put my utilities through that, and that's the rabbit hole I went down. Is I can't put my utilities in your guys' easement. If I own it, and then we agree upon it, I can, and I put a road on it, but I'd still rather not put I'd rather put my utilities a foot underground this side of it. Water, gas, and sanitary sewer.
When was it that you bought the lot, Joe, do you remember?
I don't remember the,
I was trying to find the original.
It's roughly 3 years,
yeah.
That's what I was saying, like.
close to.
23.
I guess for the,
I mean, we can look at if you wanna look at where the sanitary is, and we can run some measurements and shoot some grades or whatever. I mean, the corn isn't out yet, that was my big thing for this time of year, is I just wanna get utilities in before it freezes. The corn isn't out yet, we got a little time, I mean, I can come down and I can physically look at the manhole and, see if I have to hook up to that old one and see how low it's gonna be. And all I'm gonna do, if I have to build it up, I can't build it up much, I can build it up a little bit, but I'm gonna have to put in a storm sewer, and all that's gonna do is back up the water even more onto my lot and everybody's backyard. Cause it drains, 80% of that comes my direction, comes to the the drainage between the dewdrop, it's quicker, it falls, you know, there's a better grade there, so it's falling my way. So I'm limited on, you know, getting a road through there too. I can, but I'm gonna put in a 30-inch culvert, and all that's gonna do is backwater them. And I need that power pole moved.
So what were you thinking, Matt, where were you going with that?
I'm just a dumb lawnmower mechanic, but if you can put a road there, there's plenty of room after that 30 foot, you're still 96 foot wide. There is plenty of room to build. I don't think you're crippling anybody by doing that. If it could still be listed for sale, and we could still get a house there, you know, it could benefit everybody. The problem is, your utilities at that point would have to be underneath that easement, or spend approximately $10,000 to, move the lot line a little bit.
Yeah.
Out of experience, that's about what it's gonna cost, if it's a foot or 3 foot. And it's still
And,
buildable.
and I'm looking at 30, 40 grand to put a road in there one right, just cause it's swamp. It's, you know, you get it below a foot, it's gorgeous farm ground, but to dig it out right, you gotta core it out. The city's been down that road with West Street. I know there's a lot of, but it might not even be a year before I put a darn road in there, but I do need a road in there. But what I do need in the next month, 2 weeks, is utilities figured out. So as soon as they got corn out, I can have my utility guys lined up to get it in before it freezes.
So I think.
And as far as utilities, I mean, we're paying 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, it ain't like we're not, you know, I know the utility side of things is big, but we're gonna use way more power than any residential houses can get, especially if I keep adding more. We're paying, like I said, we're paying 4 utility bills within the city of Preston now, and that's just gonna grow. We're paying, you know, we're not paying hundreds of dollars, we're paying thousands of dollars, especially in the winter. We're gonna use way more gas, we're gonna use, you know, way more water.
I guess where I'm at, I would like to, and council, you know, you guys have final say. But I would like to explore the idea of, like Matt brought up, if there was a way to do a road and still have a feasible lot, for sale, is that something to explore, investigate? I don't know. Or is it a hard yes or no? I mean,
And- And like I said, I'm gonna have to sign the hell out of it, because I don't want, you know, it's gonna be a private road. You're gonna get cut through traffic. If I have to put a small gate up, you know, whoever buys that lot, it already says in there, they gotta put a fence up, so there isn't gonna be an eyesore, because it says there has to be a fence.
I still think you're gonna have to change the way it's written as far as the lot. You're gonna have to survey it, because
Oh, for sure,
if it's gonna
yeah.
be a private lot, it's gonna have to be surveyed to sell that
For sure,
separately from the road.
At the cost of,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Cause if you don't wanna be right underneath that 30 foot
Otherwise,
easement,
whoever
you're
Yeah.
buys it's gonna own it.
Right, yeah, no, and then we're back to the same boat we're in. Oh, yeah, well, yeah, there'll have to be new pins.
And if they can't build in that 30 foot anyway, it's either gonna be grass, or it's gonna be an empty shop going back anyway.
Right.
Can you put a private road on an easement?
Yeah, I wouldn't see why you can't put whatever surface, I mean, if you've got an
As long
ingress
as
and
it's
egress
accessible.
easement through there, you can probably put whatever surface you want on it, you know? And you might be able to, you wanna avoid putting your utilities within that 30 foot?
Yeah, I wanna be a foot, and even if the city gave me permission to, I don't think I'd wanna put my personal use. If the city wants to run theirs, fine, but I just foresee,
I don't
you know,
see the
5 years down the
city-
road, something getting tore up, and then it's my issue cause my utilities are in the way of city utilities.
So the utility services you're talking about running from West Street all the way, is it all the way just to lot 1 there, or is it all the way across lot 1?
Sorry, so I own this lot 1, and I built a building up here. I wanna be able to tie into this utilities here, so I need to come through this.
You need 300 feet of services over to you?
Whatever, 289, yeah, 289 feet, plus some right away.
Mhm. And the reason we don't wanna put those in the, like, 'cause they wouldn't be mains, they would be service.
They just be
laterals.
services. I'm gonna put a 4-inch with every 100 foot, put a clean out, so in case
Yeah.
something gets stuck, I can go in.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, gas, yeah, my plan would be, so the old manhole, or the shallow manhole is right here, which would be cleanest, but my plan would be to run here and then over everything, and then build more buildings, but I was excited when I seen that easement, it said non-exclusive, and I'm like, oh, anybody can use it, but then,
But
there's so many technical terms.
Why is it you don't want to use services underneath that access easement?
Cause if, like I said, I put this in this month, and then next month, you guys, or, you know, next year, you guys come in to do your utilities, and my sanitary sewer is dead center of where your storm pipe guts go, or if this fiber breaks or electric breaks and they gotta dig it up, the city ain't gonna pay to replace my personal utilities, are they? I mean, no, it's gonna be like an alley, yeah,
You'd
I'm
be
on my own, and
responsible.
I'm not going,
You don't
I don't wanna split my utilities with someone else or make it, so that's why I was thinking if I owned it, then I can just run mine down the edge, preferably all in the same trench for money reasons.
But then if you sell that, then whoever you sell that lot to
I'm gonna have to like
would.
section off 34 feet or whatever, you know, enough room to cover where my utilities are.
So then you would still own the 34-foot easement.
30-foot easement and 4-foot, yeah,
Technically.
yeah. It would be a part of lot one, because then I own all this too, so.
With that 4 foot, you can't develop anyways, right?
Well, the 4-foot is. you gotta
I'm
get
just
off.
saying,
Yeah.
residentially,
Right.
on 4 foot either side.
Yeah, you'd have to
You
get
can't touch
you'd have to
anything
get another
else.
4 foot off of that.
Yeah.
Sure.
It'd be 8 foot from the easement to have, if that goes through, it'd be 8 foot from the easement.
4 foot for a dwelling or
But yeah,
garage,
right.
2
Yeah.
foot for a
From about here
fence.
Yep.
to the manhole, like I said, it's gonna be 2.5, 3 foot deep. That whole area is just so darn flat, and I didn't know it, like I said, I didn't know it till I started renting it and then owning it, that it's, the drainage is that bad, which is getting fixed, which is good, but it's still gonna be an issue.
Well, we could coordinate with how your service comes across there, if that's something the city decided to do, is to give you sanitary service, you know, in that area, whether it's within the easement or, you know,
Just past, yeah.
right next to it there. You know, we've got some rough profile grades where we want the storm sewer right now, so we could take a look and see if there's a conflict there, if that would be something you guys would wanna look into, you know, so.
Well, for the benefit of time, I mean, what's
We got 2 weeks.
thoughts? Do we wanna explore that option, or do we wanna make a decision, yes or no, tonight? What's the consensus? My opinion, if this can be done like we've been recently discussing, I don't see an issue with that happening. If whoever buys it needs to put a fence up. It depends what kind of fence it is, it'll kind of block it off, it's right up against a commercial.
Well, that's
property.
only per the city's,
Right.
that's how you guys wrote it. If you guys are okay with the fence not being there, they don't have to build the fence, you know what I mean?
Gotcha. That's just my opinion. I personally wouldn't want to see a road just right down the middle of that property. Then you're just not, you're gonna do nothing. with
And
it.
then machinery, yeah, going off on the other side of it.
Yeah, you know, if you're hugging right next to Kunos and you can get that to work and it's still listed as a property that can be built on, and even with the extra, 6 to 8 foot extra, you're still 90 foot wide. It's buildable, obviously. Lots of
Yeah.
town are only 60 foot.
Maybe even I'll sit on it for 2 or 3 years and build it all, build a old lady type house, single slab, 1 bedroom that wants to move off the farm that's, under $200,000.
We've had a pretty recent success of that happening.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I'm gonna do that in 6 months, or a year, but once we get the road in, I mean, we're talking a lot of money, we're talking $50,000+ budget to get my utilities over there and get a road, of my money that I'm gonna invest. It ain't, we're not talking just, this ain't a lighthearted conversation we've had for 6 months. It's a lot of money, a lot of expense, but we're not getting any smaller. We just got the largest contract in the state of Iowa with 12 garbage trucks a year for the next 4 years to possibly 16 years with the city of Des Moines. That's blown everybody's mind. That's in the garbage truck world, because everybody is way more established than what I am. Little Kilberty equipment here, so we're not getting any smaller. And I don't wanna pigeonhole, you know. It'd be great if there was a, huge lot we could start building on in 5 years, but I got plans to build a 6 or 7 bay shop and office off Grant Street there. But some of the buildings that are there are dilapidated, they're gonna get tore down. There's gonna be, we improved 2 buildings, it's gonna be an improvement.
And that's one of the things I thought about too. I know when Rick Siemerding brought up the idea of, talking about this lot back here next to the old west side. One thing I thought about, if a person does wanna come in and start a business today, and this is sort of unrelated as well, where is that? There's nowhere, there's nothing in industrial loop, there's no commercial lots for sale whatsoever. And that's one thing I think about too, is what is the city of Preston doing for that? Cause, we can limit as much as we want to bring, make everything residential from here on out, but, okay, what about, I certainly don't want someone to be like, okay, hey, let's go to Preston, what can we do? Like, oh, can't do nothing, now we're looking at Macocata, Bellevue, Miles, or wherever.
Well, and that's been a concern that's been brought up before, and that's, for me, that's a big consideration with this discussion is, we've got a finite amount of land right now that, we can even really do anything with, so.
Yeah, and, we're lucky, the city's lucky, we bought it all, because if they would've split that West Bay up in a separate lot, where my office is now, the main building, the access there is right through Sean Yadov's front yard. That's the only in and out. You're not telling me you're getting semis. You're not getting semis through there. You can't get a car through there. He's got to park there. You can't plow snow. Luckily, the second road up is half Sean's and half the feed mill. Otherwise, the feed mill, when it ain't busy, lets us go through there. But like I said, that area is dilapidated, and I'm trying to make the best with it. Can you imagine if someone would have come up and bought that and said, all right, I need Market Street, semi, it's not made for anything. Luckily Campbell back in the day
There's
had.
a lot of small children right there.
Yeah, right at that intersection, that's pickup, it's pickup for school, right at that intersection too, which, again, we've discussed in the past, but I don't wanna be, a dead horse either. We appreciate this, we understand wholeheartedly this is political, we're all friends, this ain't,
Yeah, and that's where I was gonna finish with it too.
Yeah.
Everybody here has the best interest of Preston in mind, and in my mind, that's all that matters.
Yep.
Nobody's trying to bend somebody else over to try and get up on anybody by any means. Nobody's trying to pull a fast one on
100%.
anybody, and to me, that's how it needs to stay. And by whether a decision is made tonight, or if we explore another option, that's how I want it to be left, and I wanna make it very clear that, everybody in this room is very much appreciated in everything they do for this community. So it's never the city has it out for anybody, or somebody else has it out for us, so, just so everybody's, we're clear with that, so.
Agree 100%.
Can I, just as a business owner, make a comment?
Sure.
Whether or not it's, well, I guess I'm gonna say it anyway, so whatever they're gonna make. Marshall and I would love to build the grocery store could be bigger. Obviously, we're a little worried about what Dollar General is doing, about how that'll affect us, but there's nowhere for us, we can't build another grocery store, because where would you like me to put it? And so for it to be so, not easy, but it is so convenient that this could happen so conveniently and not interrupt anybody, as a business owner, and I'm not on council, but I don't understand why it wouldn't. I don't know, and that, I know you don't want to hear my personal opinion, but as a business owner, we don't have anywhere that we could go. We literally don't, if we wanted to, and this would be so, and it doesn't sound like it's really gonna cost the city anything, and, Jesse brings so much to the community that, we benefit from him being there, employees come get stuff from the store,
Yeah.
I don't know, there's nowhere for us to go, so I say to business owner, wholeheartedly support another business being able to expand, because
Yeah.
we don't have that opportunity right now.
Yeah, and that's a totally valid point, Megan, and I don't disagree with you at all. I guess the only standpoint that I can relate to is with, you know, with Matt and Adam being on council when we denied that purchase
Absolutely,
out
yeah,
there.
absolutely.
Is if we as a council and mayor are not consistent, what do
Absolutely.
we have? I mean, we can't,
Yeah.
we can't do it. So that is the biggest thing, in my mind. So
And
that,
like I said, I'll sign, I promise I'll sign whatever, I won't put anything non-residential on it other than road, and like I said, I'm not against a couple years down the road. But don't sell, put a small house on it, rent it out, renting's the way, I mean, everybody knows America's house shortage right now, and interest rates are coming down, like I said, I'm not against putting a house on it in a couple years, you know, either a 2-car garage, 1 bedroom, single level, you know, build it up 3-4 feet when I have fill, and go from there.
What are your thoughts, Matt, on like what they're proposing?
I don't know. I don't know. I understand, you know, we, again, like want Jesse to grow 100%, you know, I'm all about that. I mean, we are 100% supporting the business, you support us, I get that. As far as the gas and the water and the sewer, I guess I just need to understand more, and I'd like to have, I'm a numbers kind of guy. What
Yep.
is the differences? Why do we need to do it? I mean, you know, the feed mill runs their gas heaters and stuff and everything off the gas in that area. Water.
But it's coming off whatever streets in front of.
But I mean, it'd gotta be closer to run gas somewhere in that area if the feed mill's right there and using that gas.
All the, yeah,
Than-
up
than
through
from
Sean
West
Yados fronts, through that. We'd have to go through there, and then it's on, yeah, the other side of the road, tap into the other side of the road.
Yeah, I mean, and if we were to do something with a road, again, I just, you know, when you're talking 1 or 2 trucks, I don't see the need for a road. I understand the utilities, if they need to be used, I get that part of it, if that actually needs to happen. You know, I guess you could put a road in there and do it, you'd wanna, you know, if that was to happen, I would, you know, suggest that we have the property changed at that point, that it's 2 different lots, that you have the road as 1 lot, and the other is a residential lot, just right from the get-go, so that's the way it's written.
Mark, does ingress egress mean in and out, or, I mean,
Yeah.
so they, I mean,
I don't think we're holding back
they,
business.
I just don't know what I mean, if the council before you guys, this was many years ago, planned a road, I mean, they specifically, they seen the need for a road there, possibly gonna need a road, why else would they put an ingress egress easement, like they did with the utilities?
The only
Cause
one-
getting the fiber through there to the new guy, and the power, you know, went through it, they could go underneath it as well, but if the council.
What's the date on that, when they did that, Jesse? 'Cause I've been on the council for 10 years.
It was recorded in 2011.
Way before that.
Yeah, so it was way before any of you guys, like I said, but, I mean, they seen a road there, they seen a connection, why, what's changed?
The one thing I wouldn't call it a road, but definitely a drive for ingress and egress, you know, exclusively, not exclusive, but, you know, to access those properties. If they were actually envisioning like a roadway, it'd be more like a 60-foot wide
Yeah.
width through there. This really is an access
Basically,
to
Now, an easement.
basically.
the lot through there. So
Yeah.
I don't think the city was envisioning a road in there, so to speak.
Well, if I would have bought lot 1, it would have been, that easement would have been the only way in or out, so they couldn't come from either side, either from Grant or mine.
Right.
See what I was saying there?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, cause they
That's
come
more
across
than
mine,
likely why that's
they,
there.
yeah, they
But it
clean
wouldn't
it.
be a roadway, it'd just really be active, like a drive.
Then that's all I want, and that's all I want. I don't want other people on it. I wanna be able to get back and forth quicker to West Side Auto with, you know, fork trucks, you know, my personal vehicle, stuff like that, and I wanna be able to bring a semi. But my biggest, and that, I could get by without the road, like I said, but I need utilities, and I don't wanna build a couple $1 million worth of buildings over the next 10 years and have them hooked up to subpar utilities. Nobody does. If the city wants to run them utilities up through there, lot 5, and get over to me, I can hook up to them. But you're talking, you guys spend, you know, 20,000 to where I spend 25, 30,000 by the lot. guys ain't out anything.
So I guess, what do we wanna do? Do we wanna make a decision, or do we wanna?
I'll tell you for tonight, I mean, if you want a definitive answer, for me it would probably be a no, but I would be willing to consider this other option that was discussed, you know, if you're willing to, I don't wanna.
Yeah, we can wait,
I don't wanna
the
keep
corn's,
dragging it out.
I don't either, the corn's in yet, I can't get, you know, I told the guy renting it, I ain't gonna turf his cornfield, especially not this late in the game. We got a few weeks before that's gonna be out, it's just starting to turn, so. I don't know if we can table it for 2 weeks, we could set a meeting up, I can physically show you guys some of my concerns. Does the city have, I mean, the city would have water flow charts for each hydrant, or kind of, as far as pressures, or is that back on the fire department again, or who?
That'd be a Tim,
Tim.
that'd be a Tim
Yeah,
question.
Tim, that'd be-
Okay.
So if
There's
you
two
guys can look
pressure
into that.
zones. Yeah, there's two pressure zones, and you must be talking, I don't have the maps in front of me, but the one access you're talking about must be off the low zone, and the other one is
Yeah.
off the high zone.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me, if we could have, you know, Tim or whoever say, you know, this is what the flow is, you know, and then.
Pressures and have.
Find out where the gas is for sure, what
Yeah.
pressure.
Could you give us pressure zone maps or something, is that possible?
I can take a look at what we have and work with Tim. I mean, you're almost better off just asking Tim what the pressures are on the hydrants there off each respective main. You know, if he's got pressure gauges, I don't know if he's got those or not, I can talk with Tim.
I'm just jumping out there, but I don't know if this comes back to utilities and pressure, really. I think it just comes back to how we can keep this residential and still able to have access. To me, if the pressure's exactly the same, I don't think it's gonna change anybody's real opinion on it, is my thought. I think the real concern is trying to keep it residential, but still filling your needs, with it too. That's just my opinion, if anybody else thinks differently.
But I think, and then correct me if I'm wrong, Jesse, but knowing that those numbers might change Jesse's desire too, because if we do have the pressures and stuff like that, and the gas flow and stuff, that might change that would ease your concerns, correct?
Correct. My biggest concern is now if we do it through an open field, I can dig a trench and we can lay everything there. Right now, I'm gonna have to cut a line through Market Street to get to gas. I'm gonna have to go down to Joel's and get water, and then I'm gonna have to go past it. So then I'm gonna have 3 lines, which you're talking $10,000, I mean, $10,000 bucks a
But
utility.
those runs would be shorter than having to go
It,
to West Street, wouldn't they?
It'd be a lot shorter, but I'm saying I got 3 runs this way, rent a backhoe or a trencher and get them, I can do one trench, and I can get
Oh,
all
one
3
utility
utilities if I
trench.
go through an open field. And I can get down to the 5, what, is Iowa 5.5 yet, Mark? What, 5?
We do 5.5 foot.
5.5 foot, get down to 5.5, 6 foot versus 2.5, 3 foot.
I mean, the biggest concern is the sewer, right? You got sewer that's buried 3 foot deep.
With low flow, with not
It
limited
doesn't
use.
take a
for
rocket
first
science
use.
to tell you that's gonna freeze up every year. And you're gonna crack that pipe, and he's gonna have to dig it up.
So are you building something, you said in a couple of weeks, are you building another building, Jesse, or is that for the new building you currently have?
For the building I currently have, I don't have the utilities hooked up. I got everything stubbed outside, and in April, whenever we held up doing this until we figured out what, because I didn't wanna run down the old utilities and we get approval and to go to the upgraded utilities.
So then you've had issues with it freezing before,
He's not hooked up right
I'm not hooked up right now.
or you're just concerned about it?
Yeah,
Who's hooked up to it now? Who currently is hooked up to that?
the city main comes down Grant Street, so I'm guessing Joel and Feller and
They're all hooked up to it.
yeah, but that's coming underneath the street. I'm gonna be coming down through that open field, which is, they're probably a solid 5.5 foot deep. They are, but I'm coming 3 foot lower, 4 foot lower down in that field.
Okay, well,
Sorry.
I guess, I'm just kind of reading, kind of hearing what everybody's saying. If we can table this for 2 weeks, and try to get some more information out of this, is everybody good with that?
Yeah, so, I mean, before we move on, I mean, as far as like homework or things to follow up on, I guess, what do you have, Matt? Is there anything that like we could get answers to that would easier?
I think we need to answer Jesse's concerns, gas pressure, you know, water pressure, actual depths of sewer, I mean, I get actual, you know, numbers, so we, you know, none of us are guessing. We know what we know to have, to that shed, you know, we could go down there, Mark, or something, we could have Tim meet you there sometime. But know we know what the gas pressures, the water pressure, and what the actual depth of sewer would be.
Yeah, I can help out there and just kind of look at what it would take to and make sure it's gonna work with the storm sewer coming through that same ditch way too, the sanitary on that would come
Right.
through, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can look into a couple.
We could run down now too, when we're done, if you want, there's a little bit of daylight, I can just kind of
Yeah.
show you the general area, that way you know, and Tim knows, and Tim can look me up tomorrow or whenever, this week too, if he has any questions on mine, and
Sounds good.
Okay, okay, so let's table this, for 2 more weeks, and then we'll, come back with some better numbers and information.
thank you guys for
Hopefully
your
have a
time.
definitive
Yes.
answer for sure.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.
A week ago.
Have a good night,
Thank you
everybody.
guys.
Have a good one. See ya. Have a good night.
Okay, so let's jump down to number 9, Preston Growth and Development, discussion on digital sign project into consideration of city contribution. So step up, ladies.
So, we just wanted to have kind of like a very honest back and forth with everybody about the project and the city's vision for it. Because it's not like a $10,000 thing, we're talking upwards of $40,000, which we are a volunteer group with like 5 people that actually come to the meetings, like, so we're not exactly. Basically what I'm trying to get at is, we are willing to put funds towards this project with like our fundraisers that we do every year. We're willing to contribute in that way, but outside of that, we're not really willing to be the lead on this. Like, we are just not, we don't have the capacity to, you know, dedicate time to writing, like, this is a project that needs grant money, it needs a lot more than any of the 5 of us can contribute. So we just, before anybody, I mean, especially, like, gives any more time to this, we just were curious the vision the city had for kind of potentially getting this project completed, and
In the past, with West Side, with the can redemption, we've always kept the money for projects at West Side. Right now, as a group, we totally feel like we have everything we need at this time, other than to fund the events that we will be participating in. So, as a group, it was just brought up because this sign has been brought up for years, and we feel like it's a really community sign. I mean, it's proposed to be at Too Good, but it's gonna help every business, it's gonna help every organization, everything in town. And, you know, we've been told right now to change the old sign, it takes like 45 minutes to change letters. So we just felt like we wanted to contribute towards it. We wanted to back the city if they wanted to take the lead in this project.
and I mean, the cans bring in
We're really, really fortunate with the cans.
$600 every trip, I mean, and it's,
So that's about every month. 3
Yeah.
weeks is what it's been. The community's been so supportive with that, and all the other times, boys, like I said, it was put in that we would put it West Side. We also wanted, so that we can put the money towards a project other than West Side, because in the beginning, that's what it was said.
So are you guys thinking right now, kind of the picture that you guys sent to Cheryl? the
No,
small
Tracy
group?
did all the
yeah,
research on this.
Tracy gets all the credit for all the time that's already
Okay,
been put into
okay.
this.
So there's 2 different companies, the Stewart signs and the CR signs. The Stewart sign seems a little more professional, nicer,
The
and
proposal was
more-
a lot fancier.
and yes, their proposal's a lot fancier,
Yeah.
yeah. The 2 differences, like quote 1 is like in an enclosed case, so like it's vandal, it can get vandalized, the sun won't fade it.
Hmm.
The quote 2 is just a plain Jane, none of that will be included. It is $6,000 more to have them install it, which we kind of figured Ray and whoever
It's gonna be mounted on our existing
on our
pole.
existing pole that's
Oh,
there,
okay.
could handle
If
that.
we, right,
So that's why we went without the
she
installation.
wanna
of
see
them.
anything special.
So it looks like on both of the options for connectivity, they have a cellular connection. So I'm assuming,
If that's included in the price is what I read.
but would that be like a recurring fee that we would have to,
I think it.
or
this
is it just like like a unit where it would transmit to a unit
It
back
says a
here?
lifetime cell connection data plan,
Yeah,
so that's, I'm assuming that is included.
yeah. Probably be something good to clarify at
Yeah.
least on what that would be.
Yeah.
We feel
But
like
we
it
did
would-
check with Amanda about a grant, and she says there's really
Signs are
no
really hard.
hard to get grants for.
We actually put the sign in our grants for the farmer's market, and we were not awarded the grants, and we were included in that was because we included the sign, that if we had left it at just the other things we needed, we probably would have gotten some money. But we actually, farmer's market got 0 grant money for this year, because we put the sign in there. So I mean, we've been talking about this as Preston Growth for a while, we don't have the manpower, we don't think it's fair to ask the city to all we ever do is knock on doors and ask for them to help us fundraise for stuff. And they always answer the call, but this feels a little bigger than us as an organization, like it's a whole community thing, and so that's why, at least I feel very strongly that we will back it, but if the city doesn't want to help, that's fine, we need a project. We're always really transparent with the community when we have fundraisers where the money's going. So if the city is willing to kind of take the lead on this, then this will be what we run with, and this is what we fundraise for until it's done. If it's not, that's fine, no hard feelings, but then we have work to do and we need to know, like, before the holiday hop, our next fundraiser,
Sure.
what our next project is, I guess, is kind of the long and the short of it. That wasn't really that short.
Our group, yeah, totally just thought it was a really good community project, and they could see, it was brought up that possibly other organizations could donate towards it.
Absolutely.
Families could donate, you know, if it comes from the city, you're gonna have a lot more opportunities also. And even though Megan said that grant we can't apply for it,
Yeah.
the city has a lot more opportunities for a lot other grants. Like, this is really big into tourism, you know, this opens up a lot of other avenues for grants. And, yeah, we're not saying this is like a one-year project, this might be 2, but, you know, the price has doubled since we first looked at it.
Yeah.
Cause we did investigate this probably 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like when this
That was gonna be my
school got
question,
closed.
did you have kind of a timeline you were looking at? So it sounds like you're not like looking to push it through right away, but.
No, it's
we-
fund-driven, you know,
Yeah.
really
Build
is.
the money up for it.
Yeah.
Basically,
You're saying
we
the store-
just,
sorry.
no, we don't wanna be the only ones putting money towards it. What we don't wanna
Yeah.
do is this be a 12-year project of us, because the community deserves to give their money to something and see it done before then.
Yeah,
I mean, like, little towns like Delmer have this, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I think we can definitely fund this, and I think it reflects on everybody in town, I think would be a great asset.
And we're hoping, and we're not expecting like anything tonight.
Right.
We just wanna know, are you guys willing to throw money at this and be the lead on this and have the city guys install it and do the legwork, and we will throw all of the money we physically can at this project, like, we're willing to commit to that.
Once Tracy or Cheryl manage, and somebody wants somebody to manage the project, our guys put it together.
And we would like we don't wanna be the only ones putting money towards it,
Yeah.
but.
Are we saying that the Stewart one is a better one than the CR signs? Did I hear that right, or
It
other way around?
seems
A little more.
less sketchy.
And it's,
And I asked the
$11,000
CR
cheaper,
sign guy
right?
for more information, but I haven't gotten anything.
And there might be another company that comes
Yeah.
up too, you know.
But the CR sign quote literally just said, sign,
Yeah.
$32,000.
And I think I reached out to like 5 different ones, and these are the only 2. There was one that was like $60,000. I was no way.
you said Delmer had one, do you know who they got theirs through, would it have been one of those two?
We could reach out, I know they have a Delmer development group now,
I
like
believe
they have
Yeah.
the CR sign is what the school has, cause I did ask Kathy
Okay.
where they got theirs from.
Yeah, that was gonna be my question, if anybody local had experience with either outfit, you know, to kind of.
I think there's some places in Clinton and that have the Stewart signs. If you go on their website, it shows you where they're all.
What's installation consist of then? We have a pole, you're saying, so it would just be, is there any welding that needs to be done? We can fix that sign on the current pole we have.
That's what he.
And
I would
we got-
assume
we'd have to run
you're gonna
electricity
have to
to it,
weld
obviously.
something, there's
Yeah.
no way
It
you're.
says
Got a
that
little
on-
faceplate on.
I would,
it.
I would hope that something was welded together.
I know the one picture
Which
just said
makes
like
sense.
matching plates or something,
Right.
so I'm guessing they just
Matching
they just
plates.
fabricate a plate that
Yeah.
matches what it is there.
And it's just a pole, we need to put it in a pole.
Yeah,
Yeah, whatever.
I doubt our guys can weld it, they'll probably come out
Right.
and measure stuff.
Yeah.
More than
Yeah,
one
I think if our guys knew clearly what the scope of work was, they could probably tell you if they felt comfortable with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, if it's a $32,000 sign, what's another 6? Like, if it comes down to it,
That's where I'm at.
like,
To have it
we're
If
installed.
they own it, then if
Yeah.
something's wrong or.
Yeah,
Just
just a
get it
quick-
hoisted up and
just
some bitch falls
as I was
over
going
and
through, if there's any
then it's a
installation other
$64,000
than
sign.
Exactly.
yeah,
they're probably not gonna cover it, right?
absolutely.
So if we install it our own, even if it's
Not that they're
not
not
our
capable
fault, it's
of
gonna
it.
be our fault.
Yeah,
That would
they're gonna void all warranty that we potentially had in here.
$32,000 sign turns into a $64,000 sign or.
So who would control it then? Would it be you guys up
Yes,
up
and
here?
us.
I'm assuming.
Control it.
Pansy?
You know, say fancy.
Fancy, got it.
Like, I would certainly be
You
willing
could-
to
I
help
mean,
as well.
Sometimes there's like 4 people that want stuff on that sign, and
That's
it's
what I
hard
was-
to get everybody's stuff on.
And
And this could be rotated though,
That's
correct?
what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's why everybody could get their recognition, you know,
Yeah.
you can be scrolling every 30 seconds and
Right.
change.
Especially like the weekend of Preston Days. We could
Right.
put, you know,
The
There's
firemen.
everything going on and it could rotate instead of just
Right.
fireman celebration. Well, that has expanded well beyond just the firemen, which is amazing, but the signs that they have just say, here's our steak supper, and there's so much more now
Yep.
that, I mean, this would allow for,
The cookie
I
walk
mean, I
in
think
here.
you all can see how it would be so
They
beneficial.
just communicate.
Yep.
Yeah,
You would want us to be the ones soliciting for like donors and all that stuff too, or would you still take the lead on it?
I think a form like what we've done in the past, I mean, it's like Main Street Square project, I mean, the city be the lead, and I feel like that's what the city should do, this is more or less a city project. I mean, and I think it gives the city a good rapport with the citizens, you know, this is what we're doing, this is how we wanna improve the town, this is how it will benefit everybody, it's not just one group. You know, if somebody wanted to donate $5,000 in memory of someone, I say we put a plaque and do it, you know,
Yeah.
have a minimum dollar amount,
Yeah.
why not?
All I'm doing is putting it on Facebook and talking about it in our meeting, put it out there that here's a project we're working on.
Yeah.
And I
Anybody
mean,
wants to donate,
we
do it.
will
Pretty simple.
back it, I'm willing to put things, I mean, every time we do an event, you know, here's where the money's going, like,
Your camp money can still go to it, type of stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, we're willing
Like I
to
said, we'll
put
just
money.
keep back the funds we need, just, I mean, like, no different than
Maintenance
Halloween,
funds.
what's going on,
Yeah.
so we can get the bills paid.
And
You know, our finances are always public,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
you know,
We
every dollar's
just
accounted
don't
for.
have, I mean, I have 2 under 2, Larissa's about to have 2 under 2. I haven't seen Dylan in a while, like,
We have no
you know,
secretary.
yeah, I have to take notes, I have to run the meeting, you know, it's fine. We just don't have the manpower, and the men we do have are, quite frankly, we're tired. I'm not gonna lie to you, like, we just don't
yeah,
have.
we get it.
Can only do so much.
We wanna contribute
And that's
to a
kind of where
project,
we're at, is
and
like,
this,
I would love to be like, you know what, we will take it, we'll run with it, we'll get the sign bill, it might take a while, but
and in the
it's
scheme of
just
things,
bigger than
this
us.
is easier
It's
than
bigger
a
than
lot
us.
of projects we've done.
this is
This
pretty
is
cut
far
and
easier
dry.
than the
I was
walk
gonna say
path
this-
or the fit core or anything, this is easy.
This is
Be
just,
easier than that
A lot
corner.
easier than that was over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's, I can't see it taking a lot of time, other than,
It's
you
just
know,
money.
presenting it,
The money
making the
is-
forms.
we're here
and-
for the money, let's be honest,
Advertising.
that's why we're here, is the
Yeah.
money.
Yep, we just wanna give money towards it.
But we kinda need to know, if you don't tell us tonight, but we kind of need to know, yep, the city's willing to, because once we say that's where our money is going, what we don't want to happen is then the city's like, actually, we don't wanna do this anymore, and then we've taken people's money to put towards this really beneficial
Oh,
sign.
100%.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
like, it's a transparency thing, because we've never done that, and we would hate to tarnish, like, we get such amazing support for all of the events we put on.
Oh, for sure. If we agreed to do it, we followed through on it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at, is like, we're not asking for a timeline, we're not asking for anything more than, yep, we're gonna be the lead and we're gonna put time and money and this is gonna happen at some point in the relative.
You don't need a dollar amount now, but we would need to also budget for it maybe next year too.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
just as long as we commit to it being we're supportive of the project and
Yeah.
we will
Like
help.
you guys,
fund.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up is, you know, with budget season coming up in a few months, that would be something good to.
If you were to estimate with the money you have coming in a year from now, how many dollars do you think you have towards it, just to get?
we usually raise, well, the golf outing this year, we didn't because it was for the farmer's market, but anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 for each event we do. But the hop will raise, like last year, I think we made $3,000-4,000. I mean, granted, we had good weather, so I take no credit for any of that money, but
On top of that, 7 to
then
8 in cans a
put
year.
$600 a month in cans. I mean, it's too late in the day for me to do math. so-
And I mean, like the support of the
So,
cans, whoever thought that.
15,000. I was gonna say 12 to 15 probably.
That's what,
So realistically.
I would feel comfortable saying 10,000 a year,
Yeah,
that we could donate towards this, as long as we don't have any other expenses.
but what we don't want to happen is the city's like, yeah, we'll do it, and then you wait 4 years to do it when we've already given 40, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, that commitment and then it takes until we've raised the full amount is really not what we want to see happen.
You want a commitment, say in 18 months or something, we would construct it.
Not even a time, we just, money, we just want, and again, we don't need a number, we just need to know, yep, the city's going to give this the time of day, we're gonna give some money to it, I mean, if it needs to be a percentage of like, you know what, I think we could raise, I think Preston Growth could raise 50% of it, but, I mean, at some point, we want the city to meet us where we're at, instead
Or
of us.
other donors.
Oh, yes, yes,
You know,
Yeah, I think between the donors, your 15 that you raise, it should be, I mean, if the city commits like 25% even.
yeah.
Yeah, then I think the donors would probably make up the rest.
Yep.
Do you happen to
I know.
know what we had budgeted this year for park projects? 'Cause I think we pretty
Not
much.
that.
Okay.
It just unfortunately, it all comes out of the general fund, so the general fund is tight. We would probably need to, maybe borrow from like
Teach.
$1,000 from each of the utilities again, or whatever, but, yeah.
But it's not something we need to do this
Next summer.
year, right? I mean,
No.
it's not.
we just
No,
wanna
just-
know,
just-
you guys all think this is a good idea, you all would
Yeah.
support the city giving money towards it. That's really the green light we need right now, so that we can choose this as our project for next year.
And
So we
start
only have,
advertising it year.
yeah, cause we'll only have one meeting left for the year, and so we need to decide, this is what we're gonna fundraise towards, this is,
And if you don't, there's no pressure either.
no,
I
like,
mean,
that's fine.
we'll
find
spend it on
another
something
project,
else.
Yes,
We'll just say 30,000, if it's $30,000, you take 22 and the 6 and the 28 and add a couple more thousand to it.
cause I mean, the
30,000
price is
divided by
only gonna
four,
go
so
up.
25%,
Yeah.
75.
That was his big
Yeah.
thing with the quotes is the tariffs, he's like,
We've been talking about it.
We can
That's-
budget that for next year.
So I mean, the sooner the city is like, this is how much money we'll give, if we can order it, I think the one quote said a 50% deposit, which I know we just said the budget's tight, so obviously that's not happening, but the price is not going to go down. So I mean, whatever we need, I don't know, I just would hate for us to drag our feet and then we are looking at $60,000 because that's how much they all cost if we wait too long, but.
If we were to put some amount of money down before we had all of it ready to purchase it, would they lock in the pricing, I wonder, for
I'd have to
a
ask,
period,
yeah.
I don't, probably not as long as we want them to.
Right.
Probably 60, 90 days would be. the
Right,
most,
yeah.
cause this quote's only good till October 3rd also, so.
Yeah.
We'd have to find out when they would need money down before.
I would be curious too how long you have, that's like once you put the deposit down.
Mhm.
And we're not asking the city to like call tomorrow and put a deposit down.
And not to put you guys on the spot either, but, I mean, if it's something you guys, I mean, obviously Tracy, you've already done a lot of legwork on it. Is it something you guys, wanna invest some time
Tired
Yeah.
of living over getting 11,000.
Tired of spelling.
Would make Teresa's life easier.
Yeah, in the long run, it'd save you a lot of time.
Yeah.
And like I said, if it's like a tech thing, I'm more than happy to commit volunteer hours to helping somebody figure out how to run the sign. I'm more than happy to help in that way if that sways any decisions at all. I'm used to helping Nancy,
Find
so.
some, you get on some website or something, you have a login and
Yeah.
something like that. rather than-
Or if it's like making things in Canva, I'm happy to do.
Yeah,
that.
I'm not
Probably a
sure,
bunch of-
my guess they've got some sort of
Bunch of free
transmitting
things. Yeah.
device that,
They probably have their own app that you can.
What's a
Yeah.
school, Brain's a school app, anybody have a idea what that?
We thought it was the CR sign.
I think it's the CR
Oh,
sign.
is
I
it?
did call Kathy and ask her who.
my guess is the school, cause it's close enough to the building, I would
Hardwired.
imagine it's probably hardwired.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I would be curious too, then if there's like a place on there that if the internet is down, can you go like plug into the sign, you know?
Yeah, most I would think would have a service.
You know what I mean,
manual.
like-
It's
I'm
good.
not sure.
Yeah.
But
If it goes that way.
we think it'd be really great, we don't, but obviously we do or we wouldn't be here, so.
Yeah, I mean, just speaking for myself, I think it's definitely something, to look into, and I think with, like Adam said, with budget season coming up, I think it's a perfect time to, really, we probably better nail down some hard numbers, at that time. Right now, it's hard for us with being in
Yeah.
the middle of
Absolutely.
of the budget. Everything's kind of already spoken for, but, yeah, I mean, as long as there's no deadline on it, and, if everybody else is in agreement, I think it's a good thing, and
It's worth pursuing.
yeah.
Yeah, I think definitely we're pursuing, we can manage the project, we can advertise it out, put it on our website and everything else, Facebook and stuff, that here's what we're moving forward with it. And then if we can, I don't think it's a problem to say we would do 25%, $7,500 or something on our budget next year towards it.
Yeah.
And that gives us time, let's just say if Pleasant Growth and Development can get 10,000, I mean, if we can get another, fund the rest of it somewhere else, raise it up, and we put $7,500 or something towards it.
Our big
it's
thing
definitely a
was-
doable job.
And I know you said you already talked to Amanda, so maybe there aren't grants. Our big thing was like, we don't have the time to apply, like, I already am doing grants for farmer's market, like, we don't have the volunteer hours to do that legwork, but.
Yeah, and that's something too, she knows about it, she can keep it on her radar.
She is,
And
I
she's
haven't
the-
talked to her for a little while,
Yeah.
but she is keeping on her radar, but
Yeah.
we'll have to do a
Because
little
this
more.
is something that could, hopefully benefit our businesses too, that we
That's-
solicit, that we're soliciting them, and hey, this is, we're advertising for them.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if there's a time when there's nothing on it, I don't see why you couldn't be like, sell spots on it, like,
I
to
brought that
businesses.
idea to
Yeah.
her too,
They got a billboard outside, so they're selling.
Like if it was
Fun.
if it was up right now, next week, the 4 days that the dollar store is closed, I would pay $50 for you to put on there that the grocery store is open, in a heartbeat, like,
Turn left here and.
I mean, like, we might get shut down after they expand, cause they're putting more grocery in, but those 4 days will be busy at least, so.
And this goes in conjunction with the maps of Preston that we're doing. There's over 100 businesses in Preston. We're updating all the information. And, we got the Jackson County Tourism Grant for that. I mean, this goes hand in hand with that also. And we really gotta promote the businesses that we have, we don't grow, we die.
I had somebody come in today that said, when did the grocery store open? Well, I voted 4 years, before this, I mean, people just don't know.
Sounds good.
Well, thank you all
Okay,
very
yep,
much.
well, thank you ladies.
Yep.
So then are we okay to like, for the holiday hop,
Yep.
say,
I would
Zach,
think so.
okay.
Yeah, run with it, and
And if you can create a flyer like we did last time, that'd be awesome,
We'll get the word out.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank
Yep,
you.
thanks, ladies.
Thanks, ladies.
Okay, number 10, discuss and consider approval of contribution and aid of construction agreement, for Ellis Properties LLC. So this was the agreement, that Cheryl,
But they need a fire extinguisher, here's the call out here, they need a fire extinguisher.
You guys have a fire extinguisher anywhere?
Yeah, right there on the wall.
100% from